Okay, so it seems like we have an update on the Mitara Kan situation. Now, if you don't know, there's been this whole thing going on. Apparently, Mitara Kan is going to be leaving VShojo within pretty much the next week. There was two actual responses, obviously one put out by herself, and also one put out by VShojo, and pretty much they're saying they've made the decision to part ways, and obviously, yeah, she's going to be leaving on the 5th of May, which obviously is such a shame because obviously Matara has only been around for like 18 months, which, you know, a lot of people thought, well, that's such a short time. And, you know, lots of people were speculating that maybe something else was going on in the background. Maybe something happened. And, well, it seems that we finally have a response from Matara, which could kind of reveal a lot of what actually went on behind the scenes. And I wanted to give you a little bit of a TLDR behind it instead of making you sit through an entire clip, because I'm going to be real, she does repeat quite a bit, which is fine because obviously it's her own stream and it's a clip and everything like that. But so you guys just have a little bit of an understanding of what has actually gone on. Well, she essentially said that, you know, VShojo and her did agree to the wording that was put out. Obviously, if you guys remember, we went like into detail of both of the kind of responses, and obviously the wording they use is VShojo made the decision to part ways with me. So they are very clear on the fact that it is VShojo's decision, not her decision, which, you know, obviously in some cases is fine. And, you know, a lot of people are saying that, you know, it's just business, which I think that, you know, obviously compared to a lot of the Cinder drama, which we've had, this is a much more tamer. It seems like this situation is something that's been handled like professionally, and that it's just something that happened. It is not like something that's going to be, you know, some big drama blowing up in the future. It's just, you know, some unfortunate events that have gone on, and, you know, it's led to her obviously leaving VShojo. Now, there was some weird comments in there. For example, the fact of like she was talking about the like wheel of fate and about like kind of karma, and, you know, if you do good things and do bad things, then, you know, you always get something coming back to you. Which, you know, I thought felt really weird because obviously she didn't really talk about what exactly she did. She never actually said, you know, if there was any actual like main problem that caused this. So I don't know what she did to deserve that karma, or what actually went on over at VShojo for her to get fired, because she's essentially, you know, confirmed in this video that she was fired, and in this clip that she was, you know, let go, and that it was VShojo's decision. Well, you know, it just seems a little bit weird. I don't know why she went on a little like talking thing about karma, but it's very strange to me. Obviously, this clip has a ton of support, 2.6 thousand likes, as, you know, she explains her situation. She even uses the quote, "It's just good business," which is very funny considering a lot of the Cinder stuff that's gone on, and obviously people saying it's just business, or like, you know, that's how business works, things like that, which is absolutely crazy. And then also there's a little bit of insight that was put down here. It has 600 likes in the comment section, pretty much saying, for those who don't have any clue, this is primarily a merch thing. Most importantly, there's no hate, backstabbing, or slander being thrown around for no reason. Matara was literally the main catalyst for VShojo to get their merch game together, but she also had already made an external merchandising contract while they were trying to fix it. Pretty sure they were just in her contract renegotiation window, and they were unable to come to an agreement, so they mutually decided to split. And obviously this has 32 replies, I don't know what other people are saying. They're saying, it is super weird that during these times, a split like this is a sigh of relief. It's almost ordinary somehow. They say, this makes sense. I feel a lot of people are dooming about this and overreacting. And her leaving is different from other agencies. Only difference is that she'll be no longer part of the VShojo girls plus Kuro, and she won't be involved, but can still collaborate with the members. Which, yeah, obviously she does mention the fact that with a lot of the VShojo members, she never really collaborated with many of them from the beginning. You know, she would have periods where she would collaborate with them a lot, and then she'd have periods where she wouldn't, you know, as much. But again, that she would still be open to collaborating with them in the future, and that she was just going to try and stick to doing her own thing for now, and then maybe they'll move on to things. It's also good as well, she mentions the fact that she's still going to be, you know, using this personality, this VTuber model and everything, because obviously I did mention the fact that VShojo is very nice whenever it comes to allowing their talent to keep their kind of likeness and keep their personality, keep everything about them, so that they can continue on, you know, afterwards. As I said, we've had many cases of that. Obviously, Silverveil, Vebe, Nyanas, so many more, which again is really great because obviously we don't really see that with many other VTuber companies, and VShojo seem to be much nicer whenever it comes to that kind of thing. Now, obviously, Matara also said in kind of response to her VTuber model, Apparently she's still working with a lot of the like artists that worked on her previous models and stuff like that, which again is great. So it means that no artists are going to lose their job or lose a good stream of income from her, because she said that she's still going to be working with them, and that apparently she's always been paying out of her own pocket to make the models anyways, or at least mostly. So again, I mean, you know, that's good for a lot of the artists that were involved with her. It means that they're not going to lose any kind of job either. So overall, it does seem like a pretty good split. And obviously, she also mentions the fact that she'll still be with a talent agency, which is WME. This is something that I didn't actually know about whenever I first made the video on Mitara Kan. Essentially, 7 months ago, she actually joined William Morris Endeavor Agency, which is kind of interesting, seeing as she was with VShojo, you know, being part of pretty much two agencies. You know, you'd expect VShojo to be doing a lot of similar work to a kind of, to a kind of agency, stuff like that, but hey, maybe they didn't. But she did mention the fact that she's still going to stick with them, which means that obviously she should still get a lot of I guess, you know, opportunities in terms of sponsorships and just opportunities in general, which honestly I think is great. Obviously a lot of people were very confused about what WME were, and they're saying, you know, so proud of her, isn't that like a AAA actors thing, which again is really, really great. Obviously, yeah, I think WME is a pretty big kind of deal. So yeah, you know, she even mentioned the fact that, yeah, she's going to be staying with them. So it seems like nothing's going to change. It doesn't seem like there's going to be some big break from Matara where, you know, she's not really doing anything. It is always weird seeing a kind of, in quotation marks, graduation from VShojo, because again, they kind of just carry on what they're doing afterwards, which feels really weird, but it is the best thing to do as a VTuber. Honestly, that is the best outcome you could probably have, because obviously, yeah, a lot of like people over at Hololive or even Nijisanji or literally anywhere else, you know, they would be forced to give up their kind of personality and their kind of, you know, VTuber model, stuff like that, and, you know, just do something else, make a new one and become indie. Whereas these ones, they can just kind of continue with what they're doing. It's just that they're not part of VShojo anymore. They say, thanks for all the lovely messages. It will take me a long time to get through them all, but I appreciate those who reached out and continue to. And see y'all tomorrow for Minecraft with Michi and Raft with Harizen and Henya. So again, you know, obviously, you know, it does look like a pretty positive outcome. She didn't seem sad or anything. There wasn't any crying or whatever, you know, that we saw, you know, with some of the other drama that has been going on. But again, it seems like this has just been a business kind of thing. You know, obviously she said about, as I mentioned before, the karma thing. So it seems like she does regret what's happened and, you know, does regret the fact that, you know, maybe she could have done more to avoid this from happening. But at the end of the day, it did happen, and she's been quite mature about it and just pretty much accepting it. So, yeah, honestly, I feel like, you know, this is pretty much a big, you know, nail into, you know, what's gone on. I don't think anything else is really going to come out of this apart from, you know, her, you know, leaving. But again, you know, that's pretty much the last thing that needs to happen. And honestly, I feel like this is pretty good news from this kind of side of things, because obviously a lot of people were worried that this might have been something bigger, especially with all the Sinder stuff, all the Gorgura stuff, that maybe there was some massive internal thing going on that could have, you know, made this even worse. It doesn't seem like that. It doesn't seem like that's the case. It just seems like, you know, Matara and VShojo just decided to part ways, and that VShojo didn't really want her anymore due to whatever she did in the background. It would be nice to get a little bit of clarity on what exactly did happen. Was it something to do with the merchandise, like that commenter said? Because obviously, I know the commenter put it down there, and it's got a lot of likes, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. We don't really know, so we'll have to wait and see if there is any kind of updates on that. But hey, if there is any updates on that, I'll definitely let you guys know and do a follow-up video. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Do you think that this was a fair way to go? Do you think that this was a good kind of result for Matara? And, you know, will you be watching her in the future whenever she's not a part of VShojo anymore? Because, you know, I think it will definitely be a great time over there. But yeah, because, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. So I was going to say that again, but I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.